I'm good at him. Hello, welcome to The Honest Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob. Welcome to Stream Street Day. I think it's like 411 or something like that. Next one, obviously, 420. I'm joined by the man who chills me out, my personal human 420, Dayton O'Bray. Hello, sir. How are you? And thanks for resubscribing while you're live.
Just being awkward like that. Yeah, the hero of Hammer Time. I tried to do it for this for the Twitch stream, but I couldn't do it. Sorry, guys.
You did so well, though. You did so well. 4-1 is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, after you face Casper in the first round, it doesn't matter what happens after that. Casper
Agdal. Yeah, what a genius. You did super well. I might ask you that before we hate Smogs. Before we get on with the show today. So today's show, if you are listening to the podcast, we're going to be doing our kind of monthly show, broken up into 2 parts because the Sunday, we always do this on a Sunday, is kind of like fallen around a little bit. So like we've got some previews for some of the Patreons this week, and then we'll have more for next week. So next week we'll go look at that. But we've still got like 5 or 6 to look through, which are incredible. So we're going to be doing that, which is going to be really fun. That's what me and Dayton are going to be doing. So if you are listening to the podcast, this might be one of those ones you watch on YouTube. But honestly, worth looking at, just so you can see these sculpts, because they're so worth looking at, like just to have a chat about. Like it's like I was thinking I might try and brand this show when we do it properly, because it's like a preview, isn't it? Basically.
Well, yeah, we're building up the hype for everything that you can use for printing. We're on board. Things are going in the background. It's what we're all about now.
Yeah, exactly. And there's some beautiful models, so I'm up for it. I just want to say hello to everyone in the chat, though. Thank you to Mamdare for resubscribing, of course. I want to say hey to Deviant Doc, MJ Pegasus, who I love loads, Coral Drun, I'm a Good Demon Honest, who we're going to be raiding later, I think. Get Hucked, Shadow Sun, Eldar, who who's designed Shadow Sun, who's currently in the chat, has designed us Honest War. Oh, I don't know if they're Honest Wargamer. We're talking about that at some point. But anyway, Eldar elves that we've 3D printed. So like the elves that you need for 40k, but he's then gone away and designed them, which is incredible. Like, and I've printed them out. They're really good fidelity. Like, and they make great like pieces of terrain, which is the future. Scott B, what up? MJ, sorry again. Bomb Squig, yes, Bomb Squig. Gabawaki, it's me, Doom Monkeys. Thanks for resubscribing. Deviant Doc, still pissy about Curse City. I understand that. That's fine. He said he wrote a very long email. I've actually, obviously, before Games Workshop lawyers get at me, obviously this next sentence is satirical.
They would have came at you a long time ago, Rob.
The next, I went to Games Workshop Complaints Department, and it's actually it's quite fun, actually. I think it's what the Mechanicum is based off, because the emails come in and they print out of a printer, and then the piece of paper goes straight into a shredder, and it just, yeah.
They have a picture of your head in the lunchroom, and they throw darts at it during coffee break.
Me? I'm a good guy. They like me. Hey, Colonel Cabbage. Yes, he's got his new
OJ, MB, Pegasus.
We got them all.
Darden,
we got them all here.
Sam Morgan. Oh, man.
Oh, legends.
Warhammer Dad.
Warhammer Gaming Dad. Yeah, he's good. Bobbin apparently taller than you, Dayton. Right,
what?
should we... I know.
Not with butt on my shoulders. Fuck you.
It's true.
Then I'm 6'4".
Right, okay, let's look through some of these. So we'll start off with Titanforge, right? Are these our favourite? Have you got a favourite yet? Have you got a favourite studio?
It's weird. So Titanforge was really good when I got into 3D printing.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like lately I haven't printed some of their stuff in a long time.
Okay.
So they've fallen out. But they're doing a different aesthetic, and I get it, and it's really cool. Like, who doesn't want an owlbear and armor? But they're more D&D, and I think Archvillain's actually doing the same thing as opposed to us, I feel.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I think it's kind of interesting, the scale and some of the time and some of these. Hello, Ziggy, what up? Great news about the Super Series. Yes, the Super Series will return. We've obviously announced that now, and over the next week you'll see the dates and the matchups and all those. I'm currently sorting out crew and all that other stuff, so that's fun. And then also more events. More events we'll be doing coverage of. All around the world. Bobo, events here at the TSN Arena. More on that in the future. Valerie, thanks for resubscribing. Also, Ziggy, love you. Right.
By the way, I have to give a shout out for the Falcon, Pete. 2 weeks ago. I'm finally catching up on all the podcasts.
Yeah.
His 2 weeks ago he was on fire. I was literally laughing out loud while driving. His concussion protocol with with porn stars retiring because of concussions, just like football players. That was it. I was done. I almost had to pull over.
He's a funny guy. He's a funny guy. Mm. Okay, so all of these are designs that you would do on a resin printer. And this is from the Patreon. So these are the May designs. So if you signed up to Titanforge, which is what this is, if you signed up, you would get this package of files. And they're also pre-supported, which means basically you get the file, you put it into your slicer, you export it, and then you print it. And it's about as plug and play as you can go, really, at what these designs are. So first off, we've got the theme for this one is pit fighters. So they've got a lion with a sword with a kind of drake head, which is quite cool. I thought about this. Stormcast with lion heads would be a fun take on Stormcast. Have you got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, you could do like werewolves would be cool too.
Yeah,
I always picture them as like spirits. Honestly, I still picture them that way. They're spirits in armor. It's like the armor's holding them in. That's why it's so big and bulky.
A bit like
I don't like how they humanized them.
You don't like how they humanized them?
No, we have that element already. They should be like untouchable, kind of mystery kind of soldier set, in my opinion.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm vibing on that. I think I was speaking to a good friend yesterday. He was saying that they're quite fat, and I was like, they are quite fat. And the rumors are is that they're going to be more Bretonian-esque, so more slimmed down.
Every time they're reforged, they get a little fatter. They're basically like what's his name off Always Sunny in Philadelphia when he goes through his fat phase. Yeah.
Oh no, Mac.
No, Mac.
they just cultivated mass. That's what they're doing.
Big Mac.
Right, these models. So we've got a gladiator. So it's all pit fighters themed. So gladiators, which I think is quite cool. I quite like this. So there's a very Blood Bowl-esque dwarf gladiator as well, and I like that there's a range of different races. So then you've got like an elf. And
yeah,
like
that's got that dwarf has Blood Bowl written all over it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, some of these might be
so
cool.
Is he.
Yeah, some of these might be cool unit champs that you could use in Age of Sigmar, but I don't think loads of them necessarily translate. Here's an awesome skink, kind of. More of a aqua fish dude. Could be a cool character in Idneth. You could use him instead of a Soul Scryer or something. That could be quite
Actually, that'd be a cool transition. Turn all the elves into fish heads.
What, for the...
Idneth.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be very cool. Or make all the Idneth sea people. I'm not sure. Hey,
this
Hawkeye.
Necromancer is so good.
You like the Necromancer?
This is the best miniature in this whole series.
What with the Roman gladiator?
Theming, it's so good.
Yeah, that's
the
fun.
Feathers out the back and stuff. She reminds me a lot of the Cabal from
Corvus Cabal.
From that game. Yeah, from the game that you always love.
Necromunda.
Skirmish.
Yeah, Skirmish. That's the one. Warcry. There we go.
Yeah.
I also it's a cool idea doing like Roman-esque skeleton warriors as well. It's kind of
the skeletons are great. They got a lot of theme going on, a lot of personality.
Loads
but she's awesome. There's a close up of her. I think of the next one.
Yeah, she's really cool. I like all the additional magical stuff that surrounds her. That's quite fun.
Is that a different pose than the last one?
Is it different pose? No, same pose. Same pose. Although often, no, these pieces normally they print as one piece. They rarely have like
with the head, with the whole aura going on. That's usually one piece.
Yeah, whereas normally like these hand options you can see on the Skeleton Warrior, normally they're a ball joint in there, but maybe they're not because these more seem like character pieces. I like the Trident one though. This is funky. Yeah. Like he's got a cool vibe. Like that's really fun.
And you can tell that like they made it beefier, so it's not as brittle because resin can be fragile.
Yeah, it can be. And there is a way to sort that out. There is like a subsidiary product that Randy was telling me about that you can put in to kind of like make the stuff a bit softer, so it's a bit more flexible. I'll send you the link after. So then
like
I like
fabric
these.
Softener?
Huh?
It's just like fabric softener, right? That's what it does.
Yeah, no, it just makes them a bit bendier. I've never done laundry. Jesus.
Love you, Nicole.
What do you think of the gladiators in like
Classic.
the Rome? Yeah, classic. They are classic, but
And
nice
that's what
to
I
see,
want.
right?
I want my Roman gladiators to be classic because I don't want the super crazy thematic ones.
Do you know what's
You know?
what's a bit jarring? Not looking at a Games Workshop sculpt sometimes is now like so all of the shields make sense, but the guy at the back with the shield with the skulls on start looking a bit out of place. You're like, why have you put skulls on that? Like with Games Workshop, you just accept that there's going to be a skull on literally everything. Yeah, I think there's a quota they have to hit.
Frankly, there's not enough skulls at this for GW, but those would be good marauders.
Those would be cool marauders. Doing a Romanesque or gladiator style marauder army, and there you go. There's, as you can see, so there's 4 bodies here, and then there's a range of different sculpts for heads and shields. Which I think is really rad because you could design some really, really cool different units, like you said there. You could do marauders, and I suppose you could even
do their previous stuff too, right? If you go back into their previous series, you could take heads and shields and arms and stuff off them.
Yeah, and put them on here. Yeah, that's true, 100%. Yeah, I quite like those weapon options as well. I like the big glaive that you've got. I'm a big fan of a halberd/spear. Big fan. I think
not with one hand though.
What? They're strong, man. They've been working out. They're so big.
On the ground. You're putting that on the ground.
Yeah. So then we get into some very funky stuff. So here is Master Blaster from Mad Max, but turned into like an ogre with a goblin on top, which is just so good. Really big fan of that. Really fantastic. Loads of characters as well. Loads of character in there. And I like it. Even like the pose where he's just kind of walking forward with his hips, which does remind me of some lads I know. Walk with their
I wonder
hips.
if you were to what you would lose if you increased the size by like 200%.
What, I made it massive?
Yeah.
It would just be a weirdly large goblin on top as well. That would be the problem.
You think it's one piece then? Wonder if you could like hack him off and then just
that's
stuff.
a good point.
Because he's a really cool Gargan, if that was true.
He would be. He would be a cool Gargan.
Look at those tits.
Now the owl armor bear. What do you think of this bad boy?
It's so weird.
So weird. An
They're scary enough
bear.
as it is.
Well, owls or bears?
Owlbears. Well, both.
Owlbears.
Have you seen owls?
Have I seen an owl? Yeah, I filmed a wedding once where they had owls deliver the ring.
What kind of owls? Like barn owls?
You're asking
horned owls?
You're asking city gutter scum to talk about nature.
Canada, we got owls all over the place.
Have you?
Yeah.
I'm sure we have some owls, but I don't.
They got the number one injury to them is traffic, because what they do is people throw garbage out their windows, so they get close and like pick it out of the air. So, but they get too close and they hit the cars. So that's like their number one reason of getting injured in the wilderness. Get hit by cars.
I feel that's okay. All right, good. But what if we put them in armor? What would happen then?
Well, then the car's trashed, obviously. I'm responding to more calls. Motor vehicle extraction hit by another armored owl.
Who's also a bear.
That one's name is Jake.
Yeah.
Fuck Jake. Stop it.
I would say that this would be a cool model you could use as a Griffhound. An overly large Griffhound would be quite fun.
Or you shrink it.
Not. Huh?
You can shrink it, right? That's a nice thing.
Yeah. Oh, thank you to Potter Tries to Paint for resubscribing. Big love to you. It's very lovely of you. So now just a scorpion. Just a straight up scorpion on a base. What do you think of the scorpion?
With a skull in his stinger. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that is cool.
It's pretty meta.
Yeah, that's pretty. We'll put a skull in here, and then you got some little goblins riding on it. You could make if you scaled this up, you could make a very cool Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean nobody's obviously using the Ragnaroks, but you could make a cool Ragnarok.
Except when the friggin' Twitch stream gives you a army that's full of them, and you beat James and his bloodthirsters.
There you go, suck it, James. I mean, I'm sure he's happy to lose at that point. You could also do a cool like Chaos Lord on top of this. Use it as a Manticore or like instead of a Manticore. Thanks to Tristan for resubscribing. He says hi, Dayton, in the
Tristan.
Canadian Alliance. I'm a big fan of this. And then you've just got some cool like wolves. Like I'm not really sure, like, but they're just funky little models. Don't forget, you get all of this. This is the thing I'm very excited about: the Colosseum sculpt.
Those were hyenas, not wolves. Just in case
Are
you
they?
wanted to know. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because of Lion King. I should have known. I should have known. But what do you think of the arena?
I will never print that. It's cool. It's a D&D thing, right?
That's I guess it's a D&D thing.
It's a shit ton of resin.
You couldn't you make like a fucking awesome Warcry board in there?
Yes and no. Warcry, because you draw your deployment as part of playing. That's what makes it really cool. Like the setup, you just draw cards and it tells you the mission you're playing, the setup, where you deploy, and how your armies deploy. And there's like a bunch of cards, so that's what makes it really quick. But it tells you where the terrain goes. But
okay.
So.
All right. Well, I like this. I think it's cool. Anyway, I think it'd be. Super
But are you going to print it? I mean, it's cool. Yeah, but would you ever?
I mean, yes, eventually, but not right now. It's nice that I've got the design for doing a Colosseum, I think. Dan Don't, thank you for resubscribing. He says, I can't wait for my 3D print show this week.
Fuck off with the McGregor. I am not dating McGregor.
You got asked a question in the chat by Hawkeye says, who are you supporting in the Super Series? Which team are you supporting?
So it's back to the Dragon. Like who?
So you've got left to play. Obviously, the Bruces have already qualified. You've got WS10. You've got Legio 9. Great guys, those guys. WS10.
Yeah, but who's playing next? If you announced?
I haven't announced. I haven't announced who's playing yet.
Well, I'm going to Bruce's, like everyone else. Bruce's all.
Wow, you know.
No, I don't even.
Not the Marauders.
Bruce's. Nope, Bruce's.
Not the Bamoon Loons.
No.
Wow.
Darren put his
Dragon
balls on my
Slayers?
Twitter. He gets my vote.
Okay, there you go. I think he's been bribed. So then we got some more barbarians in here.
Takes balls.
Yeah.
So on my Twitter.
So these are the pit fighters from this. But I think Dayton's point is that maybe you can't build the most cohesive army out of this particular month, but a load of great character models, which I think is
there's
very
some cool stuff there.
Yeah.
I dig it.
So next up, I really like these guys, and they haven't got an update for this month yet. So Beastarian Miniatures. So theirs isn't up this week, so we'll look at it next week. But they make some really, really fucked up, chaosy stuff. And this is one of the previews for some of the stuff that's coming out next month. And I quite like this. I just think it's very grim. It's very
so
dark.
Much going on.
There's loads going on. I'm sure, Hawkeye, thanks for donating 300 bits for the Marauders' love.
Disappointed in Dayton. 300 bits. There we go. I'm making you money by pissing
there
off and disappointing your audience.
Well, disappointed the audience.
Yeah.
I like this. I think one of the things that is going on with some of the miniatures out at the minute, that they're either kind of like a little bit more plain, as in there's lots of negative space, or they've got lots and lots going on. And as someone who's not the best painter, I quite like there being lots going on, like with a Death Guard kind of Marine. There's lots going on the model.
Pick a couple details and it looks awesome.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the things going on here from Beastarium. They've got this whole grimdark, very, very, very dark vibe. I really like their stuff. We'll look at their stuff properly next week. Right, Bite the Bullet are another company, studio. I think studio is the right way to describe them, right?
Yep.
So
artists, gallery.
Yeah, artists. Yeah. So they've got a very specific design. I don't know if the way that they showcase their models particularly helps.
Sucks.
But but we'll go through them and we'll have a little look.
It's not like they're watching the stream, Rob. You're being so political.
Well, no, I'm just because I'm being sincere.
Cool.
So they've got these kind of lady Bretonians to a bit.
The horse. Let's go on about that horse. There's a lot of emotions going on that horse.
Yeah.
And the woman too. Like her facial expressions are amazing.
Yeah, they are.
There's something like wow. Until you see it, you realize that no one's really done it before.
Right. Yeah. There's so much actually going on in the face. Thanks to MJ Pegasus for donating 5 gift subscriptions in the chat. Woohoo! Yes, MJ. I agree with you. I think that actually, it's a much more emotive horse face than we see, because there's a lot of humanity in a horse's face. I'm learning recently. It's quite cool.
Have you been bitten yet?
No, but I got a favorite one. So that's important.
It sucks. It's the worst.
But by the way, if everyone is knowing, I'm trying to subsidize rent for the TSN Arena by becoming a stable boy at the moment. So that's a stable hand, farm hand. I'm not sure the words are. So, but yeah, great. What does everyone think of this model? Yeah, thanks loads to MJ Pegasus for donating the gift subscription. That's awesome.
Yeah, MJ's awesome. Don't put Teclis in your army.
Don't put Teclis in your army. That's the right one. And also don't forget to use all of your emotes in the chat. So here we go. We've got some more like Sisters of Battle style models now coming out of these guys. Yep. With great armor, great everything. Not 100% on the face, maybe. But maybe that's, again, just how it's shown off, I think.
If they could capture that emotion, though, like that has legit emotion, which is cool. You may not like it, the facial expression, but it is a legit emotion, which is great. I mean, their body proportions are ridiculous, but it's not like we haven't seen it before.
I'm fine with it. I just want everyone to know.
Yeah.
Shugo, thank you
O'Neil,
for resubscribing. And he's also building some Blade Lords. Let's go. Okay. A lot of people building Blade Lords. I don't understand it myself, but they're great models. Cool. They look cool.
And we all know that's what the real meta is.
The painting meta is the real meta. Yeah. Mm. So next up, there's some more of these. There's some very cropped in designs. I'm trying to get to the designs that are a little bit more. I love this sculpt. Just a very good dog model, which we need more dog models. I think someone could just do a 3D print like Patreon where they're just designing different dog sculpts all day, and I think you'd sell a lot. Is what I'm trying to say. Like, I think.
Yeah, it's cool. She is odd. She's very odd. I don't know where you would do with her.
What you put? How you'd put her in an army?
Just like what's going on. I'd put her in an orc army. She's my dog.
Yeah, just one girl in a whole orc army who's just like, fix you, I'll fix you. I'm here for a counsel's dog army.
Kingdom of Death does have super feminized women, but they're proportionate. They may have big boobs and big booties, but they're also like their torso and stuff is all larger.
Yeah.
They're what is it, 60s pinup girls or something like that? 50s pinup girls.
More curvaceous.
Yeah, which is coming back, by the way. So big girls in the house.
It's coming out in this studio. It's coming back in this studio with my sitting down life.
Oh, wait till COVID. Like, yeah, you guys are actually open. You get to see people in public. Do you see the COVID gains or what?
Oh no, we had let's not talk about it. Let's talk about these guys. So here's another great mini. I think again, like he could make a cool Stormcast. Could be good inside a Cities of Sigmar army. He's got a lot of this fleur de lis look to him, which I think is super cool. Which is pretty much what I say about all of this stuff. But here you can see all of the different weapon options. So all of those models we saw previously, they've got a whole variety of different weapons and loadouts, which I think is really rad. Like big Warhammer. I really like the kind of like more Macy style scythe, which I think looks very cool. And
what's again, with the hand?
I'm not sure. And there's a lady.
There's the hand.
Yeah,
that's the hand.
I think, is this all of them? Oh, there's this kind of like angel figurine. There she is in detail. There we go. All in big. And I think that looks wicked. Like, obviously you could use her as Gemini in your 40k army. Or, like, but the thing is they're not 40k, they're not super 40k, like they don't have a bolter attached to them or anything like that. So you could stick them in an Age of Sigmar army and do something really funky with it. You could scale her up, make her a prime.
The nun wraps are.
Huh?
I like the one with the head swap with the nun wraps.
Yeah, the nun wrap. Yeah, the one I'm on now. Yeah, that looks very cool. Very cool. And then, what about that one? Have you seen that? The Teutonic Knight faceplate. That's fucked. Yeah.
That's cool. I dig it.
Yeah. That's a bit much. And then we're just getting a 360 on this model, I think. I like this.
Oh, did you know they're making a Sister Act 3?
Are they?
Yep.
A Sister Act 3?
Whoopi Goldberg. Back in the house. Teaching the choir.
I'm into that. I like Whoopi Goldberg. Oh, happy day. But you can't get her back, sadly. So that's sad. What do you think? This is your horse model, but from a different pose?
Yeah,
into great. This?
She's fantastic.
Yeah. I really like the, she's reared back. Like, that would be really good for
Well, that's what
like
you'd
a
be doing,
diorama.
right? You'd be, if you're, I don't know, facing a threat, you'd be pulling back on your horse,
Yeah,
right?
just before we normally see like shots where they're like launched in, right? They're on the charge. Um, there's some more of that model, I think.
It's a great name for the studio too.
Who?
Bite the Bullet.
Bite the Bullet. Yeah, yeah. It's a good. Like, I like all of their stuff, but a lot of their stuff has been a lot more like tradesman-esque looking. They haven't really gone into these kind of like the you can actually print armies out. I think these look great, and they clearly are like sister of battle themed, but they've got like more of a fantasy element to them. So I feel like
they're like War Machine as well. Menoff is the
really?
faction. Yeah, they're all based around flame and church, and the holy fire.
I'm into this. I think because there's clearly at some point going to be like a Cities of Sigmar army, right? Like, or there'll be like the Devoted of Sigmar. We've seen some of their stuff already in Curse City, so it'll be really fun to see more of that in the future. And I think some of this could be stuff that you already print out and get some themes. Okay, this model's ridiculous. Now I've seen the heels. This is a ridiculous model. The lady nurse.
Yeah, because that's saving lives.
This is not okay. Oh God, stop showing us the model. We don't care. Oh no, there's a is that a shorter version?
There's a lot of pinup stuff that people like to print out and paint, though.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh gosh. Okay, let's skip through this.
How much attention do you put into painting that area, though? Do you know?
A boob. I'm not sure. Just as much as everything else.
Oh, he's different artist, though.
So there's this cool plague doctor kind of sculpt as well, which I think would be really fun to stick in a chaos army.
Yeah, it hasn't aged well. Too real.
Too real. Yeah. I like the Bite the Bullet stuff this month. I think it's really good. I think it looks really class. Like some of the models are a bit like meh, like we've talked about. And they've got these cool little scenery pieces as well, like the battering ram, which I think is quite fun, and then this kind of monastic temple, which I think is very cool. So I think they've got some really, really cool stuff to look at. Now, Archvillain, who we normally look at every month, they haven't done their preview for next month yet. So they're the guys that did like
so good.
Yeah, it's good. So they did the Dark Elves and the Spiders last month. But they did put up an Easter egg. So they've actually done like they've done a really fucked up Christmas range, actually, if anyone wants to go check it out. So Archvillain, go look at it on My Mini Factory. So they've done like a Krampus with like this huge sled, but it's like all Nurglified. It's incredible. Like, it looks so cool. And here we have an Easter bunny who has lost his whole damn mind collecting his eggs. Like, which I think is just incredible, personally. Like, he's got this big broadsword, really swole. He's got all of his eggs collected. Like, he's carrying them on his...
Well, he has them on the ground, too. Like, is he killing people and then giving them eggs?
I think he's like, people are stealing his eggs, and then he's like murdering them for stealing his eggs.
Could you imagine?
And I think it's such a good model. Like, and I love
the muscle and everything is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And it's just got so much character. There's so much story that you can already apply here. I think the broadsword's great. Just brilliant.
That bunny's in the freaking jungles of Nam, man. Like, he's done like 4 tours of duty. He's gone. He's loco, man.
Well, I don't. Did you ever happen to read the Redwall books?
No.
Okay, well, the Redwall books, importantly, feature a group of hares. So it's a series of books based on animals, kind of like Animals of the Farther Wood, but like it's like teen fantasy stuff where you've got a bunch of animals and they live in Redwall Abbey, and then all the evil rats and like kind of stoats come and like attack them, and they got to like defend it. And the good guys are like the mice and the bears, and not the bears. There's no bears; they're too big. The mice and the badgers. The badgers are the biggest ones, right? However, there's a group of hares who are like proper British. They're called the Long Patrol. What ho? The bears send them out and they murder folk. They're like blah blah blah.
Because of the teeth. That's the easy translation to that.
That's probably why. But I would like to see a Long Patrol army now, where all warrior
bunnies,
hares. Yeah, that would be sweet. It just looks great. I'm gonna print this guy out because he looks incredible. Like, just unreal. And put him in. I don't know what. If you can make him big enough, 4 bloodthirsters in that pose.
Yeah.
Just 4 psycho rabbits. Anyway, I really like that. Thought that
And then
was
you
cool.
give your opponent Kinder eggs.
yeah. You dress as the Easter Bunny.
There's so many ways.
Yeah, so many ways. Or Bucky O'Hare, that's a good one. Right, okay, so Artisan Guild, we're going to watch their video. So let's go do that now. So this is their... they do this video every month, and it's super cool, as you can see here. Well, in the narrative, there are many kinds of beastmen with aspects of different animals. Yeah. The Bunny Thirster, I'm into that. What's making you laugh, Dayton?
Just the girl on the stone who's really just giving it to herself.
Yeah, these guys always have one fruity model, but the rest of it's... So these... I think they've basically done a Chaos Dwarf range this month, which I'm very excited about.
The bull set, the bull thing is very Disney.
Yeah, well, their whole thing is very Warcrafty, right? That's their look.
But that facial expression in the bull is very Disney. You know, like, or Looney Tunes. Like when Bugs Bunny is pissing off the bull.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, that's true. Thanks, Hot Sauce Teddy, for resubscribing.
Yeah.
I like all of these, but I think dwarf models... It's actually, until you see stuff like this, you think, do you know what, Games Workshop done fairly well with the dwarf models. Like, to make them quite interesting. But there's some lady dwarfs there, which I think is cool. They've got big Warcrafty
They're jumping
style
off the rocks. That's good.
Yeah. They've got big Warcrafty style weapons, and they've obviously got this range of heads. So if you want to go for the kind of like more Fire Slayer, kind of like Slayer heads, they're in there with some top knots. If you want Lady Slayers, they're available, and they've got the head pieces there as well. And then if you want those kind of like helmets that are more like Chaos Dwarfy. So what's quite nice is like just the head swap really changes the dynamic of those units, right?
They just gotta have their tits out all the time.
What? Do they have them out though, or are they just there? They're just part of their anatomy.
The fabric, yes, the fabric hiding in it is really good. Yeah.
I don't know what to say. The bulls, I think, are terrible, so we can skip the bulls. 3 mighty beasts, the Corcotrosses. But I mean, they're kind of fun because you obviously you're meant to, like, if you look at the way that they're sculpted, they're clearly meant to be like painted with like flame or ember coming from the inside of them, right? Like they're meant to be, like, you know, it's not meant to be bone; it's meant to be stone, and then you put like lava,
like magma dragons.
Yeah, exactly. Head swap so you get beards and tits, says Matt Reddy. Yeah, you've got it. That's the right answer. And then there's a whole bunch. These are super modular as well, so different weapon options, different heads on there as well, different top bodies. I think they look really cool. And yeah, like,
This is opening up fetishes I didn't know I had.
Is that a lady centaur? I guess it is a lady centaur.
Dwarf women with large boobs.
Dwarf women who are half centaurs with large boobs is really what you're talking about. And here you've got some like blatant Chaos Dwarf Demon Smith rip-offs, but I think they look really funky. And you could do some...
Fun. Yeah, the head swap is cool.
Yeah,
no, it's not even a head swap. That's just... Okay.
You can do some really fun Cities of Sigmar armies with this stuff, I think. There's, again, a blatant Bull Centaur Turok rip-off there, which is fine. I don't think that's particularly good. Like, this Warcrafty theme sometimes I don't think translates overly well. Like, the dwarf stuff, maybe. I don't know what you think.
Charlie just Googled dwarf women with big boobs.
No, we shouldn't Google that. What do you think? What do you think of this aesthetic, Nathan? Like, for dwarfs as opposed to like so when they do the elves, I think it works really well. Or the orcs.
Yeah, I think it's just too much. You know, I wanted to be able to relate a little bit to some of the stuff and the choices. I don't find I have that with this set.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. You don't feel relatable, but Hawkeye thinks the dwarves are definitely better than the Fire Slayers. That's an interesting take as well. I think there's definitely more character in them. Is how I feel, and they're like very different.
What about the new Fire Slayer heroes with Be'lakor, Broken Realms? Come on, they're great.
oh, sorry, let's skip that. Sorry.
Yeah, that was the one I was laughing at before.
Oops.
Like, is she a blacksmith?
Straight skip.
She's just taking a break. that what they do on coffee break? If I did that in my lunchroom in the coffee break, the guys would fucking kick me off site.
Thanks to Big Goldfish for resubscribing. Big love to you. So yeah, like I mean, great. Whether or not your take on these is positive or negative, I think this month.
I like the weapons. Here, I'll take a positive out of it. The weapons are really cool. I like the stone-esque.
Do you mean like yeah? Would you paint it like frost? Like, because it feels like they clearly like you could.
No, I do stone.
Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Or yeah, like like a deep dark, like obsidian kind of color.
Oh, that would be cool.
And then you put like little flecks of sparkle or something into it. Because if you ever worked underground, everything sparkles. Like everything when you're 1,000 meters underground, everything is sparkles. Like when you shine your light on it, it's really cool.
Did not know that.
Well, not many people go 1,000 meters underground.
They do not. No.
It's really hot too, by the way. Really humid. You get like fog and stuff. It's really weird.
Right. So the next fog. Yeah, I knew about that. Where do you want to go next? Daybreak Miniatures. Daybreak Miniatures. They've got some really great stuff. So they've got these Minotaur models out. So we looked at their stuff last month. Sorry. And I really like Daybreak Miniatures. They don't necessarily, again, make stuff that you can produce a whole army, but they make some very cool, like, Beasts of Chaos-esque. The different stuff. Like, they had some, like, Gladiator stuff last time, and I think it was really good. So here's a big Beast of Chaos dude, and I think he looks really, really cool. I really like the design they have on here. There's always a lot of detail. Sometimes maybe over-egged, but I think it's very cool. And I've printed out their stuff, and it's come out really nice. I think his
stance is too static.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think his axe is cool though. I like the runes etched into the axe. I think that's a good vibe. But yeah, I can agree with that. And so we've got a couple of pictures on him. And then the next one,
his
jumping off a rock.
Really weird too.
You are?
His tricep was really weird too.
Yeah.
It was super fatty.
Well, they have this kind of fatty vibe, which I quite dig actually. But it's kind of got that realism. It's not quite as like esoterically weird as, let's say, Archvillain or Beastarium, and instead they've kind of gone for this Warcrafty vibe. But I feel like it's a more mature Warcrafty vibe than you really get from Artisan Guild. So like I really like their tone, and I
like him. He's cool.
Yeah, I think he's cool. I
don't know where his next foot placement's going to go, but he's cool.
he's leaping.
He's just falling. He's not leaping. Look at his face.
Actually, can we talk about his hammer?
Yep.
No, I thought, having looked at the back of it, I thought it was kind of like ridged like hooves. I thought that was quite cool. Like it was kind of like a clamped hoof was like the head of the hammer.
Okay. Looks more like a headstone or something.
Alkanaut, I'd love to have your input on my Crooksworn skin coverage for this month. Yeah, I'll do that. I promise I'll do that. Definitely. Alkanaut, by the way, in the chat has been producing some great 3D sculpts. We should look at his sometimes.
Oh, cool.
I just like, we'll look at those. We're doing this again next week, so next Sunday, so this is going to be really fun. Anyway, this guy is brilliant. He's got all this wrap around his horns.
So a quick head swap, and you have your War Master for Ogre Maw tribes.
Oh, you would make this guy an ogre?
Yeah, he looks very much like the War Master.
Couldn't you do
or Warlord or whatever?
Tyrant.
Tyrant, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, I look at this and I think realism. Gitli, I don't. I mean, less cartoony then.
They're here to keep you honest, Rob.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, guys. I'll try and use better adjectives. But he's got this awesome cloak on his back, this big shield slung across it. I think he would make a great model to put into your army, especially Beast of Chaos army. And again, another Beast of Chaos with that kind of like weird third eye.
There's your butcher.
Yeah, like I would say upscale some of these and just make ogres out of them. I think that would be really fun.
I don't think you need to upscale them. I think their size is going to be that large.
Okay. Now, so that's Daybreak. Some cool stuff. I think there's more coming out from this range before like the month is over. Now, one of my recent most favorite guys. We looked at these guys last month. They did the really fucked up Eineth Deepkin with like the weird that they had some like really weird Deepkin models, but I thought they were brilliant. But I'm really into this these guys. So Print Your Own Monsters. I think they've got some very cool stuff. Like this month's is a bit tentacly. which is cool, I
Yeah,
guess.
but you think like that Chaos Sorcerer is awesome. Like if you're putting that in a Zeech army, that's what you want. And God knows there's freaking a million Chaos Sorcerers for Zeech right now.
There is. There are, like, you could just, there are loads. These are cool because you can make some really awesome spawn out of these guys if you wanted, or you were suggesting using them as Beasts of Chaos or Beasts of Nurgle.
Yeah, as long as they don't come with the bases.
The bases. No, you can. No, you can. You can do the bases separate. I printed from these guys. Bases are separate. There you go. And there's the bases. So you can also get some cool ass bases, which is quite nice if that's what you want to do. They've got this. See, I don't really dig the tentacle vibe. I don't mind when you have like a human-esque model with tentacles.
I told you, there's fetishes coming out of nowhere.
But pure tentacles is just not for me. But I still think that there's lots. You could paint these up and have a really great time with them. And like, yeah, they're very, very
that was
cool.
It's got the human body, like the hands reaching out.
This one, the one with all the eyes, is the one that really like freaks me out. I'm like, what am I going to do in this situation with all these? These are gross. Like, this is too much for me.
Practice eye painting.
I mean, look at this one. It'll take you like 8,000 years to paint. There's just so much detail.
Just do them all goat eyes. Goat eyes are really weird, by the way. That's why they always choose to use goat eyes. They're really creepy looking.
Yeah, this is Print Your Own Monsters, Shugo. My friend is making a body horror Lovecraftian Zeech army, and this would fit perfect for him. Yes, if you want to do... Nikos was doing an eyeball army. So all his horrors... Yeah. All his horrors were eyeballs.
How many thieves does that man have in his head?
Who? Nick? A billion. Yeah. You never saw... You should get him to send you pictures of his old ogre army. It was all ogres who were like in like Empire. They're Empire ogres. And he'd like green stuff like hats, and they're unbelievable. He's such a good hobbyist. Right, so some more of these guys. So you'd really like the Sorcerer. The Sorcerer's mental.
Yeah, Sorcerer's cool.
Sorcerer is really weird. Really weird. Would the tentacles make you feel... Does it make you feel like more Nurgly or like Sinesh or...
No, he's Zeech. He's change.
Really? Change?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If he was Nurgle, he'd be like more bloated and...
Okay, yeah, so use him as a Zeech Sorcerer.
Yeah, and like I said, there's a fucking million of them.
What you mean with War Scrolls, or you mean there's loads of different designs?
No, I mean they're in every freaking army that you face now. You gotta have that chaos, the Sorcerer Lord, darkness, Sorcerer Lord.
Yeah. Aggression asks what's the approximate cost of these files. Somewhere between, like, I think the most expensive Patreon I'm signed up to is Archvillain, which is $13.99.
Yeah.
And then ranging from
US.
US. Ranging to like from like 8. But like you feel like it's a bargain. Like I don't have any money at all, and I'm signed up to maybe like 5 or 6 of these because buying these like aftermarket after the month, it just doesn't make any sense. And it's so good. Like the like you as a consumer feel like you are on the receiving end of something super cool.
Yeah, it's really crazy like how they price it too, right? Like it's like $10 a month, but you don't know what you're gonna get. But you get a ton. But if you were to buy it separately, it's like $50.
Yeah. Like and sometimes like some months you're like, I don't really like this at all. Like for instance, as an example, this one file, so all of this stuff from Print Your Own Monsters, I don't really love at all, apart from the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. This Chaos Lord here, but I'm like, that's worth it. Like, I think that's really fun. Like, and some people like all have different vibes, right? Like the Artisan Guild stuff, I don't think I have ever really liked, but I printed out some of their Orc stuff, and some people have come in the venue and they've seen the Orc stuff and they've gone, dude, that's so cool, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, if you like it, because that's what it's about, right? Like, if you like it,
different looks for different folks.
Exactly. Hey, Dan Brook, what's going on? It's a hell of a lot cheaper than Games Workshop stuff. Yeah, of course. Only feels expensive if is Raging Heroes is they added another tier. I didn't know that. I didn't know they'd done that. Right, so just to kind of round today off, because there's still a bunch more to see before next week. But I wanted to. I don't know if you happen to catch the Kickstarter for Lost Kingdom miniatures, Dayton.
No.
Okay, so they did a Bretonian themed Kickstarter. So Lost Kingdom miniatures, and some of the sculpts are just
The Pegasus riders are awesome.
Unbelievable. So we'll just go through some of these now because I don't think we've looked at these before, and I would love to show you guys. So I'm just going to have to click through. These are some other ones. I'm not sure if they actually... Oh, they might not even be in this set, which would be a bit of a shame.
The Croxigore.
These are some other ones they've done. No. Oh, no, they're not there. Sad face. Okay, well, there's the big picture. We'll go back to it. Oh, God. The big picture, but like, so that's the kind of like a set. Sorry about that. I've been printing some of their lizardmen. Says Stunning says Daedrin. Yeah, the knights, so the horses,
the archers and everything are really cool. The peasant bowmen.
Unbelievable. I think my favourite sculpt is that down in this bottom right hand corner is the Green Knight coming out of a tree, and it just like I'm 100% gonna get these and do this as an army or a count as army. I think that would be really fun. Like making
the
it would be
dragon-esque thing is really cool too. The dragon-esque thing is really cool too.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, and the guy on the Pegasus is just amazing, and it's just an amazing set. Thanks everyone, by the way. Thanks to Scrivo for resubscribing. 42 months, woohoo!
It's got me beat by 3 months, bastard. Damn garden gnome.
Right, so one of the things I'd like to talk about, because we kind of talked about it last time Chris was on the show, is there's a design studio called One Page Rules, and they make some stuff that's very count as, like very count as, and it's kind of an interesting conversation really about it. So these are this is obviously clearly a Dreadsaurian alternate.
Yep.
And I think it looks good. I don't think it looks as good as the Dreadsaurian.
Yeah, there's not enough action. Like, he's just lumbering along. That's not what I want my Dreadsaurian to be doing. I want him to be doing like crocodile friggin' death rolls, ripping people apart. And he's just out for his Sunday stroll.
Exactly.
He's been shot with tranquilizer and he's just moving along.
But then there's also, so that's the design, and there he is without the bit on the back. But then there's also these Necron, like very obviously Necron pieces. Yeah. So there we go. So it's Dan Don't is saying, by the way, it's $300. So not signing up to that Kickstarter for those Bretonnian models from Lost Kingdom, it's now $300. So being part of these Patreons and these Kickstarters supports the artists, which I think is really, really worthwhile. But like, it's great value for money for you as a consumer. And then like you can pick up a printer and a wash station now for like $250. So if you start thinking of starting a new army, you pretty much get a new army via printing nowadays.
Have you done the upgrade I sent you to your printer?
I have, thank you.
And it worked?
Yeah, it did.
Notice difference?
Yeah, it did. I was printing out some counts as slants, but just clearly slants, like very fucking obviously slants. It was wild. But anyway, these Necron models are amazing, but like they're so on the nose, and I kind of wondered like how you feel about it, because a lot of the stuff when you're like counts as or could be, like, I don't know what your thoughts are, Dayton.
I think they don't really have a place anymore because of the new Necron range that GW has, in my opinion.
You don't... Sorry, say that again?
They lost their place just because GW's upgraded. Like, GW's still the king. And those models are so good, the new Necron models. But, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that's got 3D printer, and this is a lot cheaper, and it's good. But, yeah. I tried to do... I'm not a big conversion guy. I try to do the main models if I can. Unless they're garbage. Then I'm doing something else. Okay. Right? Like Marauders, I have no qualms about replacing Marauders because they're just hot garbage.
I think the thing for me is like, especially character models. I think it was Nick who put me onto it.
But you can't buy them anyways because they're all sold out. So
Marauders.
I don't know. Everything from GW right now.
Yeah, well, you are. I think for me, it's character models and finding models to replace characters in armies. I think is really fun. I think that's probably like my go-to. Like units are still a thing that you kind of have to discuss, but they just look really good. You wouldn't be able to use this a Games Workshop event, of course not. But that's the point. Isn't
so many events.
Yeah, there's so many events, and the
that's
whole
not
point,
an argument anymore.
No,
in my opinion.
Yeah, and the whole conversation really is about like what's good for you as a hobbyist. I think that's what we're really talking about. Like what's fun for us all to have a good time with. And I think this is part of that conversation ultimately.
Yeah, as long as the things are identifiable as what they are, then it shouldn't be an issue. I mean, if someone comes up with extreme conversions and they gotta hand you like a legend, a cheat sheet to reference what it is, that's too much.
Agreed.
I've played against that, by the way.
You what?
I've played against that opponent, by the way.
And how was it?
It's weird. You just don't know what's going on.
Well, I mean, so one of the we've talked about this loads now. We don't need to like recover this ground, but of course, the key point is you're having armies. Like people sculpt and kind of kit bash armies all the time, right? Like It's like you can kit bash an army and that's fine, but you can't just do something that looks like this. It's weird. It's a weird conversation. Anyway,
yeah, I mean, or you just get your influence from everyone else, like Jacob, and then jump on the bandwagon.
Of course, that's the future. Have you got a favourite of these models we looked at today that stood out to you?
Yeah, probably the Gladiators. Honestly, what the hell are they called? Titanforge. They're still the kings of model making, in my opinion. Yeah. They are pretty awesome.
Is that just because Archvillain hasn't released theirs this month?
Yeah, I haven't printed anything from Archvillain in a while. Their original set got me awesome. Like all the demons were fantastic. But the Giro stuff has just got a lot going on.
It's very
But the nice thing about Archvillain too is they offer a lot of contests. So every time they release a big series, you print and paint, and then they in-house judge and pick winners. And I think they like give away printers and stuff like that.
I think a good thing about Titanforge is that they design models so you can make units and armies out of them.
Yeah.
And that's what Artisan Guild do as well. And I think that's something so I'm just going to show you guys again on the kind of screen here. So you've got these like Centurion-esque models, and you've got like 3 weapon options from the spears, 4 from the swords, and then 4 more shield options, then 4 more head options. You can have a load of fun with that. And like you were saying, Dayton, because they work on that, they work on a ball and joint system, as you guys can see there. If you go back to some of their earlier months, you can actually, you could replace them. You could do different shields. I mean, the hands would be a bit weird, but you could do different shields. You could do different head swaps, so you could take head swaps from other ones, and I think that would be really interesting as well. Anyway, Dayton, it's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Yeah, man. Missed you. It's been a while.
Missed you loads. It's been a pleasure. Twitch chat, thanks for being on the show. Thanks to Dadrian saying that Blacksmith was his favourite model, the Lady Blacksmith. Don't forget to join me and Owen tomorrow for the Stat Center show, and don't forget, of course, to join me and the gang tomorrow night as we discuss everything from the rest of the stuff from Broken Realms Bellacore.
Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, of course. You got any shout-outs you want to make, Dayton?
Just Peter, man, making me laugh, and Sam Morgan coming out hot with all his stuff. You need to be following him. We didn't talk about it. I'm sure it will be talked about at some point. But yeah, he's dropping hot facts, and go follow him. Hot goss.
All right, well, listen, you're all great. Thanks for tuning in. Love you tons. Thanks to everyone on Patreon, podcast, YouTube, and
are we gonna go follow?
We already. Someone messaged me saying, "Could you raid us?" So
look at that. You're a big thing.
We're going to do that. They promised to bring me all of the DVDs of Letterkenny if I raided them. So I was like, I'm in. I don't know if I have a DVD player anymore, but you've sold it to me. So we're going to go raid those people now. Thanks everyone for hanging out with us. You've been cool. And look after yourselves. Have a great Sunday or Monday or whatever day it is you're on. And look after yourselves and take care. Bye-bye.